Okay, I have tried to record this so many times, and I am so determined this time to just wing it and get through the whole thing without having to stop it and re-record a whole new introduction episode. So, hi everyone, welcome to the Totebag Podcast. Okay, I feel like my voice cracked. I'm going to say it again. Hi everyone, welcome to the Totebag Podcast. I think that was good, right? Right? Okay, anyways. Hi everyone, it's me. No, okay, I don't think everyone will know who I am. Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, welcome to the Totebag Podcast, hosted by yours truly, me, Vibha. Whatever you're doing right now, put on some headphones or put it on your speaker and enjoy the episode. I'm really glad to have you along, and I hope you join me and stick around for this fun endeavor that I am beginning as a part of my senior project, but also just a major passion project that I've been wanting to do for probably 4 years now, and I've just continued to postpone and put off. But I'm an avid podcast listener, so I just think it's only appropriate for me to have one, just because I feel the need. Anywho, I'm just going to kind of talk about myself and the podcast in today's episode. It's going to be a rather boring intro, but you know what? I still think you'll have some fun. So if you're here, I'd really appreciate it if you stuck around. So hi, my name is Vibha. A few things about me. Should we just do like a rundown of some fun facts? Okay, I really love ice cream. I'm currently watching Gilmore Girls and I'm obsessed with it. Another fun fact within a fun fact is that I actually don't even have a personality. I just morph into every main character of whatever TV show or movie I'm obsessed with at the moment. So right now, I really just want to be Rory Gilmore. Either that or I want to be Lorelai. I kind of love the both of them, so I'll keep you posted on that. What else? I love to read. I'm currently reading. It's been taking me so long, but I'm currently reading My Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. Joan Didion, if you're listening to this, I'm obsessed with you. You are literally amazing, and I want to meet you one day. You are a beautiful writer. What else? I love to journal. I would say 80% of my time is spent journaling. I journal so much. I really love coffee, but I don't like to buy coffee at all. I love the way I make my coffee, and so I always need to make it myself, My favorite season is fall, so I'm really starting to get into a good mood this time of year because it's my favorite season, and I feel like fall, winter fashion is also just really exquisite. Oh yeah, I'm really into style, or at least my style. I don't know if I'd say I keep up with all style, but I think I've been getting more into keeping up with street style fashion around the world. I read my Vogue articles, I do my research. I'm really into photography. I don't know. I think that's honestly a good little bit about me. I don't know. See, as I'm recording this, literally all I keep thinking to myself is, wow, Vibha, this is so embarrassing. You are taking forever to talk. You keep rambling. This is going to be so much to edit, but I think something I really want to work on with this podcast, and I mean, obviously things that I don't like will be edited out, or random moments of silence will be edited out or whatever, but I really just want to work on being able to accept the fact that I can't control every outcome and that not everything is going to be perfect in my eyes, and I think we all sometimes have that complex with things we work on, and I feel that's probably a reason why I've put off this podcast for so much time, is because I had this idea that it had to be in the perfect time, in the perfect place, but what does that even really mean? What is the ideal and what is perfect? So I'm really excited to just get started with this and jump into it. I really think it's gonna be a creative outlet for me that I have been wanting to pursue for so long, and I really think I'll enjoy it. So yeah, that's enough about me. I'm going to talk a bit about this podcast. I am so excited. For starters, let me just preface the title a little bit. I'm sure some of you are confused about that. I actually, if you've been following the Instagram that is for this podcast, it is at the Totebag Portfolio on Instagram. So go check that out if you haven't already. But I think a lot of people thought that I was making tote bags, which is a reasonable inference to make, but I'm not actually. So the name basically comes from just a concept that I formulated over the summer that I'm going to share, so bear with me. I hope it makes sense. But I feel like, so obviously tote bags, I think, have become very popular and relevant. I myself personally am a huge fan of them. I currently own 3 or 4, and they are just kind of the most amazing things, in my opinion, in terms of just being able to throw everything into a bag and head out the door. I find them to be so convenient. But what I love most about them, and if you've seen like the whole what's in my tote bag things on social media, I feel like there are a lot of those. I just love how you can throw anything and everything you love and need and care about and just enjoy having with you in this tote bag with no distinction or organization, and it's just with you all the time. And that's kind of the concept I wanted to have for this podcast. I think for so long, I also really struggled with the idea of making a podcast because I didn't know what I would focus on. I didn't know what the title would be. There was a point in time, actually, quite a few months ago, last year, where I thought I was going to do a podcast titled The Not So Princess Diaries, which, don't get me wrong. If someone made a podcast with that name, I would definitely be intrigued to listen. But it did not resonate with me at all, and I feel like I was just throwing titles out there just to throw titles out there. But over the summer, when I kind of conceptualized this idea of, a tote bag and made it metaphorical, I just feel like it really, did I already say clicked with me? It just really clicked with me, and I really loved it, and I have never seen or heard anything like it, and I thought it was just, I don't know, I just thought it was really me, and so I really love it. So I'm hoping that you appreciate the thought that went into that name, and even if not, that's fine. I really love it, so I'm really excited about it. But yeah, that's basically the idea for this podcast, is that it's just going to be a jumble of things that I love and care about and am passionate about, put into this online digital media space with no specific distinction or organization. It's just everything I love thrown together, and I'm really excited about that. So, yeah. In terms of some of the things that I'm going to be talking about on here, for starters, a big part of this podcast is just going to be conversational. You're going to see and hear a lot of new voices and faces on this podcast, which I'm really looking forward to, and probably lots of familiar voices and faces as well, which I'm really thrilled to kind of get going. There's so many people, friends of mine, or, people that I have conversations with in passing, like at school or just in other areas of my life, that the things that they say or kind of their insight on different topics, I find so resourceful and just very unique. And so I'm really excited to be able to share some of those really awesome things that they have to say with those of you that decide to listen to this podcast. So yeah, I guess all I really want to say is that I'm very excited about the future of what you're going to hear on the Totebag Podcast. I think there is a lot that I'm really excited to dive into. And aside from, just conversational talking to other people, I think a lot of other big things that will be on here is kind of discussing and breaking down different political and social injustice issues going on in the world in a way that is easy to understand. I think within the last few years, news and politics has become a lot more relevant to our generation as a whole. And I think what can be so daunting about kind of diving into that is, one, it's a touchy thing to be, to have conversations about politics and what's going on. It's controversial. It can be a little bit, I don't want to say frightening, but just kind of I don't know, maybe just an awkward conversation to have at times. And I also think what's so uncomfortable about it is that we don't necessarily feel like we know enough at times to be able to express our opinion. And that's another thing I'm hoping I will be able to share through certain episodes where I discuss things that are going on from a rather just informative standpoint, not necessarily even providing I guess, a specific opinion, just kind of keeping a sort of up-to-dateness on what is happening in the world, just because I think that's important. Like, why wouldn't you want to know what's happening around you, especially if it's relevant? And even if it's not, I think keeping up with the things that are going on in the world. I don't know, yeah. I ramble, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm also not sorry, because I guess it's my podcast, so I can ramble if I want to. But yeah, anywho, I don't even know. I honestly think I'm just really excited to get into this. I think, like I was saying earlier, there are a lot of things in life, and, even in my life specifically, that I find I'm always waiting for this quote-unquote perfect moment to get it going. And I think I'm really beginning to understand that I'm never going to have a perfect moment to do anything. I mean, I'm going to look back on the moments that I started doing these things. It will seem perfect to me, but, in that situation, I don't know. Does that even make sense? Like, I think we are always kind of waiting for the right moment to do things, but what does that even mean? So I'm just really excited about this. I really hope those of you who were listening from the beginning, or those of you who find this 5 months after it starts and you're stalking the podcast right now and listening to this, I hope you've enjoyed what I put out so far. I really think the Totebag Podcast is just going to be a really fun place, and I hope you enjoy coming here every week to talk about pop culture, to talk about romanticizing your life, to talk about body image and mental health and why you should care about the environment, to talk about things going on in Congress, to talk about finding yourself, to talk about being a child of immigrants and funny stories of random experiences in life, and to reflect on high school and just what it means to be a human in today's age. And yeah, I just hope you enjoy, and I hope that there's something on here that you find that you're like, you know what, I relate to that, or, I get that, or I don't know, whatever it may be. I just hope that, I think the one thing I just really hope is that something in this podcast touches you and it inspires you in some way, and I hope you can resonate with it in some form or manner. And yeah, so I think that's all. This has been a fun little introduction episode, and I really can't wait for what's to come. So happy first episode of the Totebag Podcast. Who knows, maybe we'll look back on this however long ago or however far out from now and think, little do we know how awesome this is going to turn out. But yeah, I feel like a lot of things in life are like that. You don't know how great it is until you look back in hindsight. But anywho, thanks so much for listening to all 13 minutes and however many seconds this ends up being. This was really fun. I had a great time. It gave me a little bit of anxiety to record this, but, I'll just cut out the awkward moments of silence when I go through and edit. But yeah, you're awesome, you're loved, you're worthy, and have a great day. I'll see you next week.